I'm Yahoo Finance Executive Editor Brian Sozzi, and we're here at Citi's Global TMT Conference in New York City, and we were able to grab a few minutes with someone that probably doesn't need an introduction. I'm sure he's heard that before, but nonetheless, I'm going to give him one. Dell Technologies founder, CEO, and Chairman Michael Dell. It's a real honor to have you here. I appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
Michael, I feel as though I've grown up with you. Like now you're sitting like right next to me, so I appreciate that. You know, I want to talk about all things AI, which you talked at length about in your fireside chat, but how much AI is going to change my PC experience? We're talking a little bit about it off camera, but I haven't seen it yet in the computers I use, but like blow my mind a little bit.
So look, I think anything that you want to do with your PC is going to be enhanced with AI, and you're already seeing this in a lot of the software applications that you're using on your PC. You see little AI assistants pop up in the corner, and imagine being able to you receive an email, you're trying to figure out how to respond. Well, now your response can be informed with all the documents and emails and everything that your computer has experienced. You might not be able to remember all those things or put them together in a coherent way, but the AI is going to be much more able to do that and help you be way more productive. You've just been in this meeting with me, right? Well, now you go back to your AI PC and ask it, what's the most important thing that I need to respond to right now? Well, your PC is going to learn from you. It's going to understand those things. And again, every software developer in the world that is developing software is using AI to enhance the user experience to make it more effective.
You're making a key point, because I recently talked to Salesforce co-founder Mark Benioff, and I think his contention was AI will be a complement to humans. I think he called they would be an agent, so a little different than Microsoft's Copilot. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's largely going to be a complement where it helps you be more successful at whatever you're trying to do.
Where is the AI build out, or how would you compare it to the PC build out and the age of the internet and the infrastructure build out related to those?
In enterprise and commercial customers, which are the customers that we generally serve and have the largest business in and leading share, it's pretty early. They're still figuring out how to organize their data. They're picking the 2 or 3 use cases that make the most difference to them, and they're figuring out which large language models to use, how they need to enhance these systems with other real-time data. They're working on the regulation and the security. And ultimately, what organizations are seeing is this is a historic opportunity to make their businesses way more productive and efficient, while at the same time kind of reimagining them given all this capability. And so, almost every customer we talk to is super interested in learning more about how to do that. They're starting on that journey and they need a lot of help.
Is it different than, so I think back to the internet boom, the late 90s, every day a new website seemed to pop up doing something. Does it feel like that? And have you been surprised by the speed at which AI is taking off?
I think it's actually happening faster than the World Wide Web rolled out. And of course, now we have this incredible foundation of data and infrastructure and capability to inform these systems. There's a lot of data in the world, and it is doubling, roughly every 6 to 7 months. And as you begin to use these models, as they get better and better, right? Right now, the models are pretty great, but it's the worst they'll ever be. They're only going to get better. So, the most advanced models in the world today are trained on about 1 petabyte of data. We, as Dell Technologies, will provide our customers this year and last year about 120,000 petabytes. So, quite a bit more than the 1 petabyte that the most sophisticated model was trained on. So 5 years from now, the models are way better. We have agents, we have multimodal. We're using these models against all the data in the world. That's a very different and exciting future, a future that enables human potential and capability in healthcare, in education, in solving all the unsolved problems in the world, and driving a lot more success in everything that humans endeavor to do.
I mean, that's some mind-blowing stuff. I mean, so 5 years from now, what does a ChatGPT look like? Or what does a Llama model over at Meta look like?
You know, I really don't know, and I don't think anybody does. It is evolving that quickly, but they're certainly going to be way better. They're moving to multimodal, they're moving to agents, they're moving certainly to real time, and you know, the AI will be able to complete more complex tasks for you and anticipate things. And again, make you more successful at whatever you're trying to do as a human.
I tell investors that ask me about Dell, I'm like, Dell is a different company. The stock is up 45% year to date for a reason. I mean, it's not just a PC maker. For those that may not understand where the company is today compared to a couple years ago, give us the 10-second elevator pitch. How have you changed as a company?
So, well, you know, last quarter, our server and networking business, which includes both traditional servers that you see in clouds and data centers, and the AI servers, which you hear all about, that very large business for us grew 80% year over year. So, you know, we still make PCs, right? That's a great business for us, generates a lot of cash flow, but we are a very different company driven by data and the enormous wave of infrastructure that's being built around AI today in the world.
Can you get the chips you need? I mean, all we hear when it comes to AI chips is there's a shortage, prices are going up. I mean, what does that look like for you?
There's great demand for this technology, and you know, usually, you know, customers need a lot of help. We have a fantastic supply chain. We have great relationships with the providers of these, you know, silicon, and we build, you know, the world-leading systems that they go inside. So it's always a challenge, and certainly when there's this much capability and customers want to have access to that, you know, it's a challenge and an opportunity.
Is there anything that you hear that would suggest that AI is slowing? I was on your earnings call. I heard acceleration from Jeff Clark or COO. I didn't hear anything about a slowdown. I hop on all these hyperscaler quarters, nothing about a slowdown. I mean, is the market wrong? Are they missing something here? Or are they just scared about nothing?
Well, you know, there always are bumps in the road as you launch a rocket, right, and create new capabilities, and you know, you have new product cycles, you have new introductions of things, and some customers want the existing one faster, some want to wait for the new one. We have all of the above. But the macro picture here is very, very clear, and that is that there's enormous demand. It's growing. It's expanding out from the hyperscalers to the service providers, to enterprise, to commercial, to sovereign AI, to embedded AI, to the edge, to retail, to manufacturing, to your PC, to here, there, and everywhere. And we think it's a great opportunity over the next several years.
I follow you on LinkedIn and X, and somewhere you made a mention about sovereign AI. How do you define sovereign AI, and what is the, I guess, TAM or total addressable market for that overall?
It's not a subject you hear about much in the United States, but every other country you hear about it. And the idea is that every country wants to express its own unique culture and language and values and beliefs inside their own country. And they actually don't want their data to leave the country and be trained by an AI model somewhere else, or specifically maybe in California, for example. Right? And so these countries are investing in AI infrastructure to be able to do that. And we're seeing this in most countries in the world that have a reasonably developed economy. And it is a large opportunity for us, and certainly plays to our strengths: engineering, relationships, the services. Being present in 170 countries and already being the leading provider of servers and storage in those countries, we're in a great position to stand up these sovereign AI systems.
See, I hear nothing about slowing at all. I mean, what does your backlog look like for the next 12 to 18 months in all things related to AI?
Our backlog at the end of the quarter was $3.8 billion. And our shipments in the second quarter were up 80% quarter on quarter. And the pipeline of opportunities is many, many multiples greater than the backlog. So we're seeing a ton of new opportunities from not just the CSPs, but also sovereigns and, of course, enterprises growing.
So you're really, I think, captivating a lot of folks. What you're saying about what AI PCs may do. Why the push out on the uptake of these computers?
So there's a very large install base, 1.5 billion PCs. We've sold 200 million of them just in the last 4 years. You've got the Windows 10 end of life coming in October of next year. And so, if you're installing a new fleet of PCs to replace the ones that are 3, 4, 5 years old, well, you want them to be enabled with these new capabilities that are going to make your workforce and your people more productive. And so there's tremendous interest in this. The refresh has been a bit delayed, but we believe it's coming, and it'll certainly be favorable for us given our leading position, number one in revenues, number one in profits in commercial PCs, and we're geared up for it.
Who leads that build out? Is it commercial or enterprises, or is it, I don't know, the commoner like me who needs a new AI PC because I saw it on TV and it looks like it might change my life?
I think it'll be both. I mean, if you're buying a PC, whether it's in your business or for your own use, you're not going to not want to have this capability. And so we think it'll be pervasive, and certainly all the processor suppliers that we use are putting these new capabilities in their latest and next generation processors.
I really liked what the Citi team, how they introduced you. Dell, one of the most ethical companies in business. How are you building that into what you are working in terms of AI?
Everything we do in AI kind of goes through a lens of how do we do this responsibly and make sure that we're using data in the correct way. Now, we're different from, we're not a social media company. We don't use customers' data. And so in that context, the challenge is a little bit easier. We're helping customers use their data to be more effective. But we certainly have our own disciplines and rules inside the company about how we protect user security and confidentiality. And we never use our customers' data.
Do you have a concern about AI? And how it may shape our future?
Well, I think to have no concern wouldn't be a good strategy, but I'm generally very optimistic about how this is going to enable human potential in tremendous ways. So we have to take precautions to make sure that bad things don't happen, but I think it's much more likely that good things will happen with AI than bad things.
Is regulation possible? What does that framework even look like to someone like you?
I think it's a tricky, thing to do, and the reason is that technology is changing so quickly. If the smartest people in the world came up with a regulation a year ago, chances are it kind of looks a little bit silly now because the technology is moving so quickly. So I think we need to have some guardrails. And again, these are questions for each society to figure out. And we're certainly involved in those conversations. But again, these are kind of society level questions. The technology doesn't wake up in the morning and say, I want to be good or I want to be bad. It does whatever we tell it to do.
Yes, it's true. Before I let you go, I saved a couple minutes on this one because I just, like I said, I grew up watching you, reading magazine covers about you and stories about Dell. Do you ever think about the early days of the company? I mean, how it was founded, and I mean, now you're here, you're at a conference talking about AI. I mean, you could not imagine a lot of these things when you started Dell, no?
No, we didn't imagine all these things. I do think about those days. Sometimes, we celebrated our 40th anniversary of the company founding earlier this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I wrote a book, Play Nice But Win, where I talk about the founding of the company all the way through to the present, and some of the adventures and things that worked really well and things that didn't work as well and some of the learnings along the way. But it's fun to reflect. If I think about all that, relative to the future, I'm way more excited about the future. And I think we're just getting started with our company and with technology and the role it can play to enable human potential. That's what we're focused on as a company.
I imagine you have to mentor some folks in tech. And what do you tell this next generation of tech startup founders?
Well, I'm actually having dinner with a bunch of them tonight.
Which I did not know.
We'll see what the discussion is about. They tend to want to talk about some of the softer things like your family and how you sort of raise kids and those kind of topics. The great thing about our society is we encourage and we enable people to take risks and start businesses and dream up new ideas, and young people that have a new perspective are in a great advantage because they're sort of unencumbered by sort of the previous ideas, and so they can dream up new businesses and away we go. And I'm also very optimistic about how this wave of change is going to be positive for our country, because I think our country embraces change more than some other societies, and our company and the U.S. I think are in a good spot.